good start to the second half for the Padres, winning a series in D.C. behind Nick Pivetta and Xander Bogaerts on Sunday. 2-1. Padres move on to Miami. And look at this division. Padres just 3.5 games behind the Dodgers right now. So a ton to react to. Plus, deadline is about 10 days away. I just saw the report from Kyle Glazer that Ethan Salas' recovery in the minor leagues is taking longer than expected. He is not yet ready to go as the calendar is nearing August. But again, an encouraging series, I would say, for the Padres. Might be a good night to give Xander Bogaerts some flowers. Nick Pivetta has been absolutely terrific for this team and kind of a laugher. And we haven't had a lot of them this year, if you've been watching the Padres, but a laugher this afternoon at Nationals Park. So make your way in and subscribe. We do have year-round content for you. We need to get to 9,000 subscribers. Like, what is that going to take? It's going to take more subscribers. So please subscribe if you have not yet done that to this channel. We're about 150 or so away. So please subscribe to this channel. We have year-round content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X. At John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We'll get to every single super chat here tonight. We do appreciate your support of our channel. Click the $ below the chat box if you want to see your comment on screen, or if you want to control the direction of the conversation. You can become a member. Click join down below. But tough to complain. 2 out of 3 on the road heading for Miami. I think it'll be a challenging series. Miami's throwing some good arms at the Padres, but the start that you were hoping for on this 10-game road trip with the trade deadline, Jim, just about a week and a half away as they head for Miami.
Yeah, I'm not saying they have to sweep bad teams, but, winning series against bad teams, you're going to want to do that. And this team this year against bad teams is really good. This team against good teams this year, it's a little bit of a struggle. So if they didn't take care of business against bad teams, then you get a little worried because it's like, all right, if they can't beat bad teams and then they start, they can't beat good teams consistently, that's not a good equation there. So taking 2 or 3 against the Nationals did exactly what they had to do. And, we'll give Xander his flowers tonight. And yes, we'll talk about Xander, but I wanted to start with Nick Pivetta. This guy has had an unbelievable season this year. If it wasn't for him pitching on Sunday before the All-Star game, he's probably a replacement. And he's probably an All-Star. He probably should have been an All-Star. He's 10-2 with a 2.81 ERA, 127 strikeouts and 115 innings pitched, and a 1 whip. So, first off, for all the stuff that A.J. Preller got wrong in the offseason, Jason Hayward, Yuli Gurriel, Martin Maldonado, Elias Diaz, even though he had a 2-run homer today, the entire bench, Trenton Brooks, Bryce Johnson, Tyler Wade, trying out, whoever in the minors, right? This might be the best signing in all of baseball in the offseason. Might be. For bang for their buck. Soto, $700-800 million, right? Blake Snell hasn't pitched barely any for the Dodgers. Tanner Scott's been awful for them. What other big-time free agents this offseason have signed with their new teams and were amazing? Willie Adames, he's heated up recently for the Giants, but nothing crazy, right? As far as free agent signings go, Nick Pivetta might be the best free agent signing in all of baseball this past offseason.
I think what the Pavetta deal proves to me is that in that moment, he needed to be savvy and creative, and he was. Mm-hmm. And it leads me down a path that he'll do it again. Maybe it's within the next 10 days. This deal is essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, I think basically a 2-year, $23 million deal.
It's a total 5-year 55, but there's outs in there.
He can walk after 2. They basically are locking horns together for 2 years, $23 million, which is an unbelievable value. Even coming off the season in which he had, he's never pitched like this in the major leagues. His career numbers are not as good as he's been, obviously, this year. He's coming off a year in which he had a 4 ERA. With Boston, he was 6-12. The record means absolutely nothing. I'm 100% with you, man. He's been, the word that gets used a lot with players that are having good years that aren't expected necessarily to this level is a revelation. He's just had an awesome year. He's been their true ace because King's been out hurt and Darvish has been out hurt and Cease hasn't lived up to it, even though he did pitch well Friday night and we gave him credit for that. Pavetta's been there basically game in and game out, and he has given them yeah, kind of ace-like stuff. I mean, if not a 1, a 2, certainly. I mean, he's pitched somewhere between that 1 or a 2 all year for the Padres. His numbers are awesome. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. You just read them. So I'm 100% with you. They have him through 2026 as well, maybe beyond that. But savvy deal that is a big reason why the Padres are where they are. Imagine it. Imagine no Nick Pivetta. They just don't come to terms, or he's hurt all year. I mean, it would be very impactful on their season. They're nowhere near this position. There's just nowhere near this position. And Jim, I would say this, they're well positioned, man. And I'm with you on some of the offseason moves that haven't worked out, but Gavin Sheets was part of the offseason. Nick Pivetta is part of the offseason. They're 9 games over 500. They're 3.5 games out in their division. They're where they need to be. Without any guarantees, they're where they need to be heading into this back end of July.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, the top free agents from this past offseason. And as far as value goes, it's really hard to argue that there's someone better for the value that you're getting right now than Nick Pivetta. Max Fried, he's having an incredible year, but he also signed the largest contract for a left-handed pitcher in the history of the sport. Pete Alonso is having a really good season, but also, he's making 20-something, 26, $27 million this year. Juan Soto, the biggest contract in the history of the sport for any player. Alex Bregman, and Blake Snell's not even pitching. Roki Suzuki's arms, who knows about him? Willie Adames, Jack Flaherty, 2 for 35. The point is the value that you're getting for Nick Pivetta on for $1 million this year is incredible. He is going to get some Cy Young votes if he continues to pitch like this. And he's turned into the ace of this staff.
Yeah, definitely.
It's crazy. If I told you at the beginning of the year Nick Pivetta would be their best pitcher, I'd be like, they're in trouble. Because you need King and you need Cease and you need Darvish. But in reality, like with Pivetta being their best pitcher, they're still a good team. And who knows? They could turn into a really good team here if once again second half Schilt shows up.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point. I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves, but if you were in a 3-game series and these are good problems, how could Nick Pivetta not be one of your 3 starters?
He's your opener, John.
I mean, well, we'll see. I mean,
now,
maybe. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. I'm saying even 2 months from now, I mean, I think if you get Michael King back and he's healthy, you'd like to think that he could assume a position like that. I think if Dylan Cease returns to form.
Yeah, I don't know about 2 months from now, but like right now, yeah, he's your.
Well, yeah, well, of course, right now, but that's what I'm just saying. Like, fast forward, let's say all 4 of these pitchers are healthy. Who's the odd man out?
Oh, in the postseason, to me, it's Cease, but maybe Darvish.
It's probably too early to say.
Too early.
Chucky D, thank you for the first super of the night, guys. If you are here, subscribe. You're on content for Padres fans, all Padres today. I mean, they did it early. It was, you're having breakfast. It's 5-0. Chucky D, thank you. He says, how do we convince Crony that he is a much better hitter when he doesn't try to pull everything out of the park? Hashtag all fields Crone zone. Yeah, he inside outed like 2 balls to identical spots today down the left field line. The Padres in general, that first inning is a thing of beauty. 2 walks against Gore. That's who Tatis is. Even when he's not hitting, he's getting on base. Arise 0-2 singles. They load the bases with nobody out and capitalize immediately on a ball that Bogaerts hits over the left field wall, just over the left field wall, but a grand slam. The amazing stat that the Padres' last 4 grand slams have all come against the Washington Nationals is like, what on earth are you even talking about? But it's true. And then they add on to their credit. I mean, they didn't settle for 4 runs. They scored 8 runs in this game. We were asking for the 7+ run outburst that didn't come, Jim, for a month. They did it twice this weekend.
I know.
In DC.
Crazy.
7 on Friday, 8 on Sunday. I get it. The Nationals aren't necessarily, the Dodgers or whomever else, even though the Dodgers have the same record as the Rockies in July. But you'll take it, and we'll see if they can do it in Miami. But things are starting to turn here, even if it's like turning a boat around for the offense. Maybe it's been slow, maybe it hasn't. Merrill's scratched from this lineup. Like, what's going on with Jackson Merrill? But they still score their 8 runs here today, and they scored 17 runs in the series. 5.7 runs per game. You're going to live with that, obviously, from here on out.
They took care of business this weekend. Yesterday's game, it made some
chances too yesterday.
A lot of chances. Just some, base running blunders there late in the game and just didn't work out for them. Yu Darvish still kind of getting back into the groove of things, but overall still good series. To me, not much to complain about at all in this series. To me, it's a lot of positives looking forward where you're like, is this team going to go on another run again? Like I think about it, but then I have to take myself back and realize, okay, they did just play the Washington Nationals. But, you think back to last year, their run didn't start with the Washington Nationals, but the Washington Nationals was a big part of the start of their second half run last year. If you remember, they swept them in DC. Cease had that no-hitter, and they did not look back as a team after that. So you get a little deja vu of playing the Nationals in Washington, D.C. in the start your second half, and hopefully that propels you to have a great second half. And hopefully, it's not just about, hey, can they make the postseason as a wild card? Now, the conversation might come up sooner rather than later of the division might be in play here.
I mean, we've said this before over the years, and we've done this a lot. And it's been a Lucy pulling the football away a lot, as in every year, because the Padres never win the division. And they'll meet on field a lot still. I mean, they still have the 2 series against each other, which will help determine things. And the Dodgers will be all in at the deadline, and maybe the Padres will as well. But certainly the Dodgers will spare no expense at the deadline. But I know it's only July, and I know the season is long, but they can't play worse than they're playing right now. So the door is open. I'm talking about the Dodgers, obviously. I mean, they're 0-6 against the Brewers is unbelievable.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Just the
Brewers are a really good team, man.
But I mean, that's ridiculous. Blowing leads, seeing the frustration from some of their players, just for them to be 5-10 in July, it's kind of remarkable. And again, the door is open right now for San Diego, is what I would say. Here's the thing I would say about last year. 2 things can be true. They're not going to go 43-19 over a 62-game stretch, but they can be really good. Potentially, because I think they can still add on. They will. They're going to add on at the deadline. Schilt's track record is a proven one, and the team's playing well enough. I mean, they played well in the homestand going into the All-Star break. Not perfect, but well. And they played well here out of the gates against Washington. So I'll use that analogy of doors open. It feels like they can play well here for a stretch. We know the schedule is theoretically tougher in August, but I think they can play well in the second half. I don't think there's 43-19 because I think that's lightning the bottle stuff, but I think they're capable of playing well in the second half.
Do some math for me. What's 54 minus 23?
That would be 31.
And then what's 45 minus 36? 9?
9.
They are 31-9 against teams below 500 this year.
That's weird because it's a moving target. Is that right?
Yeah.
31-9?
Yeah, because they're 23-36 against teams above 500. And the record's 54-45.
31-9.
They are 31-9 against teams. You're right. It's a moving target. These things change all the time, right? But it just shows they do really well. And I bet you if you go back and look at, I'll go back and do it right now. So, they won the series against Washington.
Right.
They won the series against Texas. Arizona, they split. So, Cincinnati's above 500. They took 2 or 3 from the Nationals when they played them. They took 2 or 3 from the Royals when they played them.
We're basically saying they haven't lost a series this year to a team below 500 because how can you have 9 losses?
They did lose a series against the Diamondbacks in middle of June.
Oh, so that's their 1 series loss.
And then they beat Pittsburgh. They beat Miami. They beat Atlanta. They beat the Angels, the Rockies, Pittsburgh.
1 series loss.
Colorado, the A's, Cleveland. Yeah, 1 series loss this year against bad teams. So
I mean,
where I'm going
9 is 7. That's 760 baseball. That's a 7. I mean, it's at least 750 because 30-10 is 750, and it's better than 30-10, 31-9. So 760 baseball. I don't care who you are. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you play Miami coming up here this week, starting tomorrow afternoon. But I've been saying this, and we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. August is going to be the toughest stretch of their season, and if they get through August and they don't completely fall flat on their face, they're making the postseason. Like I feel they're making the postseason because Baltimore, Colorado twice in September, the White Sox, Arizona, maybe Milwaukee might have clinched something by the end of September. Who knows? But I mean, you play 7 games against the Rockies in September. You play Baltimore for 3, and you play the White Sox for 3, and then Arizona for 3 to finish up their season. They're probably, they might be out of it. Like they might be done. They're like, screw it. Who cares? Final 3 games of the year, and those games are at home.
Yeah.
If they get through August, like I feel very good. I feel very good about this team.
I mean, I feel good even today. I'm with you, and it's not like there's no ticket punch today. I just feel good when you look at the standings and you look at the teams that they're vying with, and even this like daunting August schedule that is contingent on the Giants and Dodgers looking like the Giants and the Dodgers.
True.
Because those teams, now things can change. It's a long year. Things can change 3 weeks from now when they square off again. But when you go Giants, Dodgers, you told me that 4 weeks ago, I'd say, wow. You tell it to me today, and I think it's navigatable, if that's a word. So, yeah, it's daunting or more daunting on paper, but again, I'm looking right now at the standings, and I'm looking at the state of the National League, and I'm looking at the Padres roster, and I'm thinking about the trade deadline. And I think if you're a Padres fan, I think this is a completely fair statement. I mean, you should feel confident in the Padres. It would be seen by almost everyone watching us right now, and everyone that's a ardent fan. It would be seen as a pretty damn big disappointment if this team is not a postseason team. That doesn't mean they're a playoff team. I mean, they have a lot of work to do, but there's nobody here tonight with us that's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it in this team. I think there's a lot of flawed teams in the National League. I think I'm giving the Padres a lot of benefit of the doubt up against other teams that have worse records than them right now. And I'll trust in Preller, Schilt, the roster to navigate away to the postseason. Now, what seed? What's possible? Can they win a division? That's a completely different conversation. But I mean, I think most Padres fans feel like they should make the postseason this year based on sitting here right now tonight after winning 2 out of 3 out of the break.
Yeah, I'm not saying I think this team can win the World Series, but I think this team can make the postseason. I feel that if they navigate through August and they get to September in a playoff spot or better, I mean, come September 1st, like I'll be saying, yeah, this team's making the postseason.
Right.
Like I'd feel as confident as anybody could feel in saying that, but that's all dependent on how they navigate August. If they continue to play well against bad teams, they stack up those wins. And if they could figure out, how to play better against, teams over 500 this year, there's still things they need to work on. They are still a flawed team. Things are moving here in a direction that you like to see, but can they keep it up? And one of those things that you like, that's moving in the right direction and you hope keeps up is Xander Bogaerts. He's red hot right now. He is on fire. Today with the Grand Slam, I mean, his numbers since his game in LA, where it was like almost like the rock bottom point of his season, John.
Yep.
Where he ended the game on a double play.
Yep.
And then the next night, because he went 0 for that night in game 2, ended the game on a double play. I think he had like 2 or 3 double plays in that game. I mean, it was awful. Next night, he's 0 for in the 9th inning, hits that double to tie the game up, immediately losing the bottom half of the inning. But ever since then, John, and I don't have the numbers in today's game, but he's got 3 homers, 9 RBIs. Coming into today's game, these numbers are only going to be better. He was hitting going to today's game 371 with a 974 OPS, and that's 25 games since the rock bottom point of the season where he was hitting 227 with a 615 OPS.
I mean, he's been, we've said it. I mean, you've certainly heard me say it. I mean, he's been markedly better. I mean, just use the last 30. I'm with you. Those are 25 games, but just use the MLB.com last 30. He's hitting 333 even in his last 30 with a 905 OPS.
Yeah.
He's been really solid for the last month. That doesn't guarantee the future, but it should be encouraging, I think, for Padres fans that something is clicking. This isn't just some moment in time, like a week or a game or a series. I mean, this is longer than that right now. Even the grand slam today, he followed that up with a base hit his next at bat. He had 2 hits. He's been on base a ton. A 905 OPS for a 30-game stretch is good for a middle infielder, and that is what he has done. Now he's got to continue that. I can't now judge him on one game. He went 0 for 4 Saturday. I can't worry about that because he could bounce back today and go 2 for 4 with the grand slam. So you got to play the long game a little bit now with Xander. It's going to be harder to go all in on him if he has a bad game or two because over the last 30, he's been better.
For sure.
If he can turn the 30 into the second half of the year, 8-something OPS over those 60 games to come. He just had a 905 over 30. Can he turn it into 850 over the next 60? Then you're giving yourself a real good opportunity for this offense to be improving. The bottom of this lineup today was really good. If you look at that box score, and this is without Jackson Merrill as well. So, and they're going to add to it. I don't know how many pieces, but they'll add at least a piece to it. They'll try to make this lineup better than it is right now. So I'm with you in everything you're saying. He's playing better. Is he ever hitting 30 home runs again this season? Of course not. Is he ever driving in 100 again this season? Of course not. Is he ever going to have that vintage Xander season? Remains to be seen. I'd be surprised if he does. But, man, maybe he can put together a half. And right now he's putting together 30 games.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. There's no, apologizing for ripping Xander.
Do it.
No, it's a ridiculous take to have after just 25 games of really good baseball. You're going to need to see it for an entire season. Is he a $26 million player? No, he's not. Will he ever be a $26 million player a year? Probably not. Will he ever live up to the contract? Probably not, unless he has some huge moments, leading into a postseason and in a postseason. Then all is forgiven. Then you apologize. If Xander hits like a walk-off home run in, a postseason series or
World Series.
He's the NLCS MVP or is a World Series MVP, all is forgiven. Apologize 100%. After 25 games, stop. Okay. Everything he's doing right now is great. Keep it up. Because we've seen Xander get hot and then go right back in the tank. Can he parlay these 26 great games that he's had since the bottoming out of his season in LA? Can he parlay that to, hey man, Xander's been great for the last 60 games. Hey man, Xander's been great for the last, 55. He was great the rest of the season. Can you do that? Because that's what we're looking for. I'm not saying get a hit and be impactful every single night, but keep doing what you're doing for the rest of the year. And then we can look back and be like, you know what? Xander's 2025 season actually lived up to that contract, and he actually helped the team out in a big way. Can he do that?
He's had, even his numbers on the whole now this year, they're
solid.
looking a lot better.
They're looking better.
This is kind of on cue, and we got HBBV back. Thank you for the Superman. Appreciate you hanging out. He says, X and Betts switch their baseball power. I mean, it's a tough sport. Betts does prove the challenges of playing baseball for a living.
Right.
A guy that's won an MVP, has lots of rings. Xander's got rings, but Betts does too. And Betts, you talk about the bottom falling out. It has with Mookie Betts. Now, again, it's a long year. Everything we just said about Xander, things can change. Everything people are saying right now about Mookie Betts, things can change in the opposite direction. I'm crossing my fingers on Xander. I'm not overly concerned about Betts, but I'm crossing my fingers on Xander because in watching, there's a stark difference with him always being on base. He has been on base a ton over the last month. Walks, base hits, whatever. He just seemingly has found his way on base a ton. And I don't know if it continues. Like I just said, I think it's a really tough sport. I mean, there's things that can happen. As good as it's been for a month, it can be just as bad for a month. We've seen it with Xander. We've seen it with other players. We've seen it with Manny Machado. We've seen it with Fernando Tatis Jr. You've even seen it with Luis Arraez. So listen, do I think he's going to have a 905 OPS from now until the day the season ends? I don't, because that's really hard to do. And we haven't seen that from him in his Padres tenure, but I'd be pleasantly surprised if it happened, is what I would say.
Yeah, Xander playing like this changes the dynamic of so many things, because before this 26 game stretch that he was on, hitting him in the middle of this lineup every day was like the definition of insanity.
Yep.
Wasn't driving in runs, doesn't hit for power. I mean, he still doesn't hit for power, even though he did hit a home run today, which is awesome. Wasn't getting on base. He just was a negative at the plate. But now with this version of Xander, again, like you said, is he going to have a 960 OPS for the rest of the season? Doubtful. But can you have a 810, 820 OPS for the rest of the season? I mean, that's still asking a lot, but like if he did that for the rest of the year, whew, I mean, that changes the dynamic on so many things, because now you feel comfortable with him hitting in the middle of your lineup instead of the other way around where it was like, shit, here we go, you know?
Changes a lot. I mean, the part of me says this is sustainable, but part of me goes back to like what a Dan Zamborski Fangraphs, I think, told us a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, hey, Xander's been better. He's like, I'm like, what do you think of that? He's like, well, so kind of the numbers are the numbers. And like, as they bear out over 162, you can have a 580 OPS for a month and you can have an 880 OPS for a month. But in the end of the day, you're a 700 OPS player. Like that, you know, I mean, I'm paraphrasing. And he's a 722 OPS player, which is a solid production. It's not his career production. It's not what you're paying for. You're seeking more. It's not that anchor anvil of 589 or whatever it's been at times this year. But, you know, can it continue to trend upwards is the question. Like you said, is he going to remain on the right side of that ledger, the 800 side or the 600 side? And there's a huge difference for the San Diego Padres. If he maintains 800, he's a huge benefit to their success in the second half. If he falls back to that 600 OPS player, it is more of an anchor. And the thing is, nobody can predict. Nobody can tell us what's going to happen, including Xander Bogaerts. I'm sure he feels more confident at the plate, and I'm sure he feels healthier, would be my guess, at the plate. And it is true he's battled injuries here. There's no question. And it's also true he doesn't have the same power he had in Boston. He got a hold of a ball Friday or Saturday that I thought was way gone.
I know.
That you saw that, and that he flat out on.
Yeah.
And the home, think about the 6 home runs he's hit this year. We could pull it up in Fangraphs, Jim. Maybe there's one outlier. Every home run he's hit this year goes over the wall. Like the ball
scrapes
just
the wall,
goes over the wall.
Right.
And again, for whatever it's worth, I'm just telling you because we're all watching the same thing. Some of his power has been zapped, but his, you know, line drive, gap to gap power remains. And every once in a while, he'll do what he did in a game like today. And this was an impactful moment, a huge moment, obviously. What if he grounds into a double play there? I mean, who knows what happens in this game? But I don't know the farthest home run he's hit this year. But I'd be shocked if he hit a ball over 401 feet, for example. I'd be shocked if he hit a home run 400 feet, truthfully, this year.
Yeah, the power is he's never going to have a season, I feel like, where he's going to hit. I mean, 2019, we hit 33 home runs. Like,
no chance.
Never again. But you know, the confidence that you see in Xander right now is through the roof. He's getting luckier at the plate, which helps. I mean, he had a double the other day that was like a duck snort, should have been a can of corn down the right field line. He hits the ball, doesn't even see where it goes, and then he sees it and he takes off running and it turns into a double. Box score is going to look like a line drive double in the gap. But if you watch it, it's like just a little flare out to right, no man's land, double. Right. So he's getting a little luckier. And then in turn, that's creating confidence with him. I think, and I hope that we can at the end of the season say this, where the moment in LA where he hit that game time double after he has just had, you know, just the worst moments you could have as a baseball player, you know, just not coming through at all for this team. It was a rock bottom moment of his season before that. That double he had in the 9th, who knows? That could have been the moment that turned his season around, because it felt like he just said, fuck it, whatever. I don't even care anymore. And he just went up there and then he wasn't thinking and he just reacted. And ever since that moment, he's just been reacting and he's not thinking as much, which he has stated that sometimes he can do, where it messes him up, where he's always thinking about things. So I hope that was the turning point of his season, because we always talk about turning points in seasons with teams, right? But with individual players, we know last year, Manny Machado, his turning point, the Philadelphia series, right? Hopefully this year with Xander, the turning point in his season was that game-tying RBI double against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium.
By the way, I went to his Fangraphs page and I looked it up. It doesn't include today's home run. Someone could tell me how far he hit today's home run. It wasn't 400 feet. But his home runs this year, other than today, 350, 363, 389, 393, and one at Dodger Stadium, 401.
Today was 390.
So today was 390. Okay, so the furthest ball he's hit this year, and again, not that it really matters, but again, the 30 home run season obviously is out the door. We're going to get back to the super chats in a moment, guys. If you are here, subscribe. We're on our way to 9,000 subscribers. We need your help. If you're here live or on replay, please subscribe. We're about 150-ish subscribers away from 9,000. Please help us get to 9,000. We'd love to get there by the trade deadline coming up in about a week and a half. And please support our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He's been with us since day one on the wrap-up show. Lifelong Padres fan, native San Diegan. Great insurance agent. How do we know that? We do business with him. I have 3 insurance policies through Mark: homeowners and life and earthquake. He does auto. He does everything, business, life, whatever it is. He's got the insurance policy for you. Before you renew your current policy, get in contact with Mark Nimitz. He's going to save you time. He's going to save you money. If you ever need him, trust me, he's going to be there for you. He's been there for me and my family. We had to file a claim. He took care of us and saved us so much time and money. So he's been with us since day one. If you support this channel, please click the link in the description down below and get in contact with our buddy Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all his information is, well, it is above my, or no, there we go, below. There we go. Nimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, this is completely relevant. I mean, 3.5 games is 3.5 games. And July 20th is also July 20th. So there's a long way to go for both of these teams. Neither of these teams has accomplished anything. I mean, the Dodgers have to finish off their year just like the Padres do. There's probably as many concerns about the Dodgers, if not more right now, from Dodger fans than there would be right now, but the Padres from Padres fans, truthfully, as the beef notes. 3.5 games back of the Dodgers with how bad we've been talking about the Padres. Let's go. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying it's there for the taking and there's a week left and you play the Dodgers 5 times. You're like, hey, let's just go win 4 out of 5. I mean, we're not at that point yet. There's just too many twists and turns. But, Jim, your point about September is like, for me, yeah, I'm kind of hoping that the Padres put themselves in position to be a playoff team. But you get to September within 3.5 games of the Dodgers. And now you're having a conversation about that division potentially by just outplaying them by playing bad teams and making it a race down the stretch. So that's how I look at it. I do think that nothing's been determined as of yet. I do think the Dodgers they'll play well again. I'll be utterly shocked if they don't play well again this year. But as we sit here today, crazier things have certainly happened than 3.5 games being made up in 2 months.
I'm not going to get fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not going to sit here and be like, watch out, LA, here come the Padres, because we've done that how many times in recent memory with this team, and it just never works out. The Dodgers might be playing shitty baseball, and then they'll play the Padres and take 2 or 3 or 3 or 4, and it's just like it's banana in the tailpipe. It's just like I'm gonna have to see it down to almost like the final week of the season where the Padres either have like a 3-game lead in the division or like they're back like behind the Dodgers by like a game. I can't sit here on July 20th and be like, here we go, because it's every time that's happened, it goes in favor of the Dodgers. So again, I'm focusing more on what the Padres do right now. And if you look up with 2 weeks to go in September and they're up by a game or within a game or within 2 games or up by 2 games, then it's going to get very real. But until then, I'm not going to, you can't fool me this time. All right. I'm not going to get fooled again.
Yeah, I completely Agree. I mean, does it give me? It's not about giving me hope about the division. Honestly, me personally, this might sound ridiculous. I'm not overly concerned about the division. I wasn't. It's not like I was sitting there at the end of last year, like, man, they're playing really well, but they didn't win the division. That never crossed my mind once going into the postseason. You can win the World Series without winning the division. It's been proven time and time again. Yeah, there's an extra round. By the way, you can win a division and be a 3 seed and still play the exact same series. It literally could mean absolutely nothing. I think psyche-wise, of course you want to win the division. They haven't done it forever. So from like a psyche or like clubhouse perspective, I'm sure they want to win the division. I'm just saying from my seat, if you told me they go into the postseason playing like they were playing last year, I don't care if they win the division. I really don't. I just would prefer for them to be healthy, playing well. That to me gives them an opportunity to win. There's something about winning the division too. I know what I would be saying if they won the division. I'd be like, a week off. They're playing great. Now they get a week off. They're playing great. So I don't truthfully care. What I care about is them being healthy and playing well in the second half of the year.
So looking at the strength of schedule for the remainder of the season, all right, have you seen this?
I know that the Padres had one of the easiest schedules in baseball as of the start of the second half.
All right, so the Padres' strength of schedule for the remainder of the season is a 485 win percentage. That's 25th in baseball, which means they have the sixth easiest schedule remaining. The fifth, sorry, tied for the fifth. All right, along with the San Francisco Giants. So they have the fifth easiest schedule remaining. Guess who has the fourth easiest schedule remaining? The Dodgers.
The Dodgers, yeah.
So, they play the Rockies. The Dodgers play the Rockies 7 times. They play the Pirates for 3, Baltimore, the Angels, okay, and then the 6 games against the Padres, right? So they can make up they can separate themselves a lot in those 6 games, and then also, stack up a bunch of wins against, the bad teams that they play. Padres, though, kind of the same boat, right? They play the Dodgers for 6 games, and then they also have the Rockies for 7 games, and the White Sox, and then the Marlins this week, and then the Baltimore Orioles. So like the head-to-head matchup between them in August could, determine the National League West. I'm not saying it will, but it could be maybe the deciding factor because both teams are playing really bad teams for the rest of the season.
True. What did the Padres do against the Dodgers? Was it 2-5 in 7 games, or was it 2-4 in 6?
It was 2-5.
2-5 and 7. So not well out of the gates, but that doesn't determine what's going to happen in August. If they go 2-4 in August, I'm not going to feel good about their head-to-head chances or division chances, obviously, but I might change my tune if they go 4-2 against the Dodgers.
Right.
If it is 6 games, I think it's 6.
It's 6 games.
Yep.
And you're 3 back in the loss column right now. So that means you have to play well against the Dodgers and also play better than them remaining for the rest of the season. So it's like, we'll see. I would never tell Padres fans not to have the conversation about it, but I also would tell Padres fans, listen, you've been let down before. It's not the end all be all today. I agree with Jim. If you can get even or ahead, all right, dream big, but when you're still a few games back in the division, and it's still it's not early, but it's early when it comes to like a divisional race. Shoot, the Padres have 63 games left. 63 games, Yep.
A lot of games.
Yeah.
Now they've already played 100 or whatever it is, 99 games. They've played a lot of games. So they have much fewer games remaining. But listen, here's what we know. Offensively, we're asking for more. We got more this series. Does that continue in Miami? I don't know. They're facing good pitching, and then they're facing Sandy Alcantara. And I don't know if that's good pitching or not. He still has a mid-7 ERA. And then you go to St. Louis, and we'll see what they do, in that 4-game series against St. Louis. I think if you win 2 out of 3 in Miami, you could split that 4-game series in St. Louis and feel pretty good about your road trip. You'd be 6-4 on the road trip, and then you'd be coming home, and then you're basically walking into the trade deadline. I think the trade deadline moves are still, or the trade deadline needs are still the trade deadline needs no matter what they do in this road trip. This road trip doesn't change my opinion. Their 8 runs today doesn't change my opinion. on the trade deadline. I hope they go 6-4, 7-3, and that just bolsters my thoughts on what they need to do at the deadline. But I mean, Preller's going to be active no matter how well they play on this road trip. I think 8-2 road trip only like inspires him to do more.
Oh, I think regardless that he's gonna, go crazy at the deadline, or at least try to go crazy at the deadline.
Yep.
I won't be surprised by anything he does. Unless, no, I'll take that back. The only way I'd be surprised if he doesn't make multiple moves. Like if he doesn't go out there and we're sitting here and being like, wait, he only made one move. He like, what? No, this dude is going to go make a couple moves at minimum. And this team is in full buy mode, unless something catastrophic happens here in the next week where they like lose 7 in a row or worse. But even if they did lose 7 or 8 in a row, they're still like in a fine position after that. You know what I mean?
Maybe like a game or two out. Yeah. And they're not going to. I mean, you can never be fully confident in sports, right? Things do happen. But there's no reason that we should all be sitting here like they're about to lose 8 games in a row. I mean, that's not really. Again, I feel like from a team perspective, Jim, they bottomed out a little bit before that 10-game homestand. They played well enough, not perfect. Now 2 out of 3 here, so they're what, 8-5 in their last 13, right? We were talking about, can you get that 10-5 stretch in you? And I don't know if they can or not, but they're 8-5 in their last 13. It's just, it feels like for me, that's where I keep saying like they kind of like turning a corner a little bit. I can't definitively say it as of yet, but there's some indicators in there. You've gotten Darvish back. He's pitched on turn the last 3 times he's been out there. Hopefully they get good news continually on King. Tatis has played better, obviously, since he bottomed out as well, the play of Bogaerts. So, again, I think there's enough optimism in there that, again, I'm not overly confident because I've watched enough sports in my life to know you can't be overly confident. And I've watched enough of the Padres to know you can't be overly confident. But I'm also not sitting here thinking, man, that 10-game losing streak is on the other side of what they're doing right now. I hope I'm right.
I just think that they have too good of a bullpen to have a long losing streak if they're healthy.
Yep.
I just think that the way that they're constructed, it's hard to imagine them having this super long losing streak with the bullpen they have. I mean, the bullpen is fantastic. It's the strength of this team. You're only going to get better with the return of Michael King. Hopefully, Darvish continues to, get better and get into the groove of the season, right? He's struggled here and there, but I think you saw some signs of improvement over the weekend. Nick Pivetta has been fantastic, and like the wild card in the rotation is, hey, is Dylan Cease going to pitch like he did on Friday night, or is he going to start pitching like he did in the first half, where it was just up and down and up and down, or is he going to be consistent and be one of the best pitchers in the National League like he has proven he can be? If you had Pavetta and Cease rolling like this for just like a 3 or 4 week stretch, man, I could do wonders for you.
Complete wonders. Completely agree. So again, I feel like if you're betting on the Padres, like there's reasons for optimism on the Padres is what I would say. We'll see. Again, things can change. Richard, thank you, man, for the super chat. Appreciate you guys. If you are here, we have year-round content for Padres fans. Smash that like button for us, and please subscribe to this channel. We've had a few people subscribe tonight. Let's get to 8,900 before we get to 9,000. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. And thank you for the super chats, like this one from Richard, who says, don't worry about the evil empire. Beat up on the tomato cans. Don't get emotional against LA. Just play baseball. My nephew Jordan and the Carl Vinson on his way home to San Diego after 290 days at sea. Richard, we appreciate you letting us know. We're thinking about your nephew. And thank you, Jordan, for your service to this country. Yeah, I thought they got over any type of – I don't think it's like a mental thing with the Dodgers against the Padres. I just don't. like I saw last year, I thought they played well in the regular season. We saw 2022, they beat them in the postseason. We saw how it played out last year in the postseason. I don't know if it's mental. I think at times maybe the Dodgers have been better than the Padres, but I don't think there's some mental hurdle that the Padres are dealing with when it comes to the LA Dodgers. And we'll see if that's the case or not when they play in August, and potentially if they play in October this year.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's some time. I mean, if you're the Padres, you kind of maybe wish you played the Dodgers right now because the Dodgers are in the midst of their worst stretch of the season.
100%.
And they just lost Freddie Freeman for who knows how long.
Yep.
But they're getting Blake Snell back. They've already got Tyler Glasnow back. They're going to make a move at the deadline, or 2 or 3. So the team that you're going to face in August is not going to be the team that's playing as poorly as they're playing right now, is my guess. And we're a far ways away from that. I'm more concerned, hey, at minimum take 2 or 3 here from Miami. Can you do better than that? Can you finish off your road? I mean, the Cardinals have lost 3 in a row. Miami's been better of late. Kyle Stowers is amazing for the Marlins. But other than that, can you just take care of business? And could you have a 6-4 road trip at worst? Right? Can you have a 6?
Yeah. I'm more concerned. I'm with you. I'm concerned about the games themselves, but I recognize that the Padres and Dodgers will look a lot different when they meet because the
100%.
deadline's going to impact both of these teams significantly.
Yeah.
So and I'm really concerned about the deadline because I love the trade deadline. So
right.
I have my sights more on the deadline than I would the Dodgers series in August. Oh, believe me, I'll have my sights there when we get there. It's like some of the best shows we'll do is when it's Padres Dodgers, obviously. But right now, I'm with you. Sights are on Miami and St. Louis. But truthfully, I'm also thinking about this upcoming trade deadline. I know it's going to play out over the next 10 plus days. We're not going to get crazy news probably in the hours ahead, maybe not even the days ahead, but at some point in the next 7 or 10 days, we're going to get some real news related to both the Padres and the Dodgers. Guys, if you are here, we do want to remind you about our great offer we have for our viewers going on right now with our friends over at SeatGeek. In fact, with your first order at SeatGeek of $50 or more, you're going to get $20 off your tickets with promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. You heard me right. $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more with promo code PADSWRAP. All you have to do is click the link in the description down below to download the app. Have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. We do want to thank our friends over at SeatGeek, no matter what it is. When the Padres get home to take on the Mets, if it's Aztecs basketball or football, if it's concerts in San Diego, no matter where you are, you might be watching in Los Angeles or San Francisco or New York or Philadelphia. Take advantage of the offer. Use the promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and get $20 off your order of $50 or more.
And SeatGeek is MLB's official ticket marketplace. So once you purchase your tickets, they're instantly fulfilled and downloadable once you purchase from SeatGeek to your phone. Make sure you use our promo code then when you buy tickets, PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. As you see here on the screen, look for green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Obviously here, if you want to go to Petco Park on, Monday, July 28th against the New York Mets, you can get in, for, let's see here, good seats down the on the left field line here, third base line, $70, $20 off, you're in for $50 right there. Boom. That's a 10 out of 10 amazing deal. So go to SeatGeek right now, use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP.
All right, let's get back to the conversation, guys. If you're here, subscribe, and if you're here, smash that like button for us. Padres win big over the Nationals. They're heading for Miami, a 3-game series beginning on Monday afternoon. The Beef, thank you, man, for the super chat. If you want to support the channel, click that $sign below the chat box. We'll get your comment on screen with the super chats. He says, if we get King back, Cease continues good, you improves, and Nick continues. Yeah, pieces may fit together at the right time. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, too. It's impossible to predict, right? They could all be healthy at the right time. They could all not be. They could all be pitching well at the right time. They could all be pitching poorly at the wrong time. But I like their rotation if healthy. I think a lot of people like their rotation if healthy. I like their bullpen a lot if healthy. I liked it last year, a year ago in October. I liked their chances with what they had in the rotation. I know they lost Musgrove, and with their bullpen, I thought they had one of the best bullpens in the sport. So, yeah, if things look the way you hope they would look, you'd be encouraged.
Well, considering the fact they haven't had a healthy rotation all year long, if they could just all be healthy at the same time, that's kind of what all I'm looking for and needing. You know, they haven't had it. They haven't not had a full healthy 1 through 4 all season long. You know, Darvish has been out, King been out, right? Cease and Pavetta have been the only starters that have made, I think, every scheduled start for them this season.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Of the top 4 guys in your rotation. So if they can just get to a point where they go through a turn in the rotation where all 4 guys are in it, you know, that's a win in itself, because you trust these guys. You trust that they're going to pitch well for you. You trust Darvish that he's going to pitch well. You trust Michael King if he's healthy. Same thing with Nick Pivetta. We'll see about Cease if he can, turn his season around here in the second half. But like when he's on, just look on Friday night, unhittable. So yeah, just get healthy. And they have a really good rotation.
Yeah, completely. That's spot on. That's a good point. They haven't been healthy all year. They haven't been healthy at the same time all year. Reality check. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you, man, for hanging out. Thank you for the super. He says the mental hurdle is more for the fans to overcome. Yeah, yes. It's when you're talking about Dodgers, Padres, I tend to agree with that. I mean,
you think so?
The PTSD. Yeah, 100%.
You don't think the players have any like, man, we can't beat these guys in like their minds?
No, I don't know about any, but they beat them in the regular season, in the season series in 2024. They beat them in the postseason in 2022. They lost in 5 last year in the postseason. I mean, I don't think it seems insurmountable. Like they can't do it. I mean, maybe they do to some extent. I think the fans have way more of that feeling than the clubhouse does. I mean, that's just my 2 cents on it right now.
I think there's a little of that there with the Padres. I do. I've seen too many, baseball documentaries and, things where I've heard players from teams be like, we just couldn't beat them. Like for whatever reason, we just can't beat them. Like we went into the series against them, and they have our number, and we just can't beat them. And I do think there's a little bit of that there. How could there not be, coming off of what happened in the postseason last year?
Yeah, but I mean, I agree. I mean, if we're solely basing it on last year's Game 5, well, then we'll talk about that. Yeah. Until
and the fact that they're 2-5 against them this season as well.
True, 8-5 last year in the regular season.
Yeah,
it's not like if you add up all those games since the start of last year, so 2-3 in the postseason. So that means you're 10-8 last year, and you're 2-5 this year. You're 12-13 in your last 25 games against the Dodgers.
It's back and forth.
It's not like it's impossible, is what I'm saying. Do I think at their strengths, if you had the Dodgers fully healthy and the Padres fully healthy, like there's no question. I mean, the Dodgers, it's not the mental hurdle. They'd be an underdog in Vegas.
Right.
They're not as good of a complete roster, would be my guess, but that doesn't mean that they're not capable of beating the Dodgers in the series. I say this all the time. Plus, the Dodgers are playing like shit, but that doesn't mean they won't be playing great, 2 weeks from now. But yeah, you're probably right. Is there a mental hurdle? Probably, because it's sports. But I think it's larger with the fan bases. I think that the PTSD exists more probably in Padres fans' minds than it does in like Fernando Tatis Jr.'s mind. But I don't know. BM, thank you, man, for the super chase. Is speaking of Tatis, a mashing productive Fernando could be all we need. I mean, I don't know how much I can wait on, Tatis looking like it was 4 years ago. I think Tatis has been good. He's getting on base when he doesn't hit. He walks more than like anyone. It's amazing how often he walks. But I don't know, Jim. I don't know if I'm expecting a 10 home run month or not from him in the second half of the year, like we saw maybe late last year, if you include the postseason and when he came back. I don't know with Tatis. I really don't.
He's having a really good season. I don't think I could say he's having a great season. because I've seen Tatis be better than this. So when you've
Way
seen
better.
someone be better than what they are right now, how can you say that they're having a great season? There's parts of his game that he's having a great year, which is defensively, he's having a great year defensively. He'll most likely win another Gold Glove in right field. Shoot, he could be another Platinum Glove award winner in right. Who knows? He's been that good defensively. And he is impacting the game in multiple ways on the base paths. I mean, he's going to have over 30 stolen bases this year. And defensively, he is a real weapon out there. But the main thing that makes Tatis the most valuable when you look at him is like his power, his ability to change the game offensively at the plate, which we have seen in the past, the threat of his bat in a lineup. And it's not fully there this season like we want it to be. He's had moments, and the start of his year was the Tatis that I'm referring to. You know, the Tatis we're seeing right now at the plate, he's getting on base a ton. I mean, that is a great thing. That's one part of his season that's great. His defense, his ability to get on base, those are great. All right, his ability to steal bases, like it's really good. But overall, it's a really good season. It's hard for me to say he's having a great year.
Yeah, Padres have never had a 30-30 player in franchise history, and I don't think they will this year, truthfully. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. He's hit 16 home runs, and it feels like none of them have happened since April. So unless he's got another April in him, and again, I hope to be proven wrong. 14 home runs in 63 games. Go show us. Go show us that power. I get it. Maybe he's not pitched to. I don't know. I really don't know what my expectations are with Tatis. I don't even think, I mean, and I think most people agree with you. Most people probably say, hey, he's had a very good season. I wouldn't say he's had a very good season. I'd say he's had a good season. And I'm kind of being liberal in the usage of the word good. If you want to account for, well, he's stolen a lot of bases and he plays good defense. Yeah, but you fought a bed with that man. You make it 340. He's here for way more than that. So I think the very good seasons are defined by his bat. And his bat has been mid. I don't care what anyone says. His bat's been mid. If I'm wrong, then I must be watching a different player.
Yeah, it's just it's hard to watch this player and not compare him to what he was. Like if we never saw the first 3 years of his career, and the last 3 years was the first 3 years, we'd be like, this is really, like, we'd be like, man, this is a really good player. Like, damn. Everyone would be very, very happy. It's like Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill, is he ever going to be a 900 OPS guy? Jackson Merrill? Maybe.
Right.
But, Jackson Merrill last year, his OPS was what, 825 or 830, I want to say. And if you look at the rest of his career, like last year, Jackson Merrill, like right now, Jackson Merrill's OPS is 731. Okay. Last year, Jackson Merrill's OPS was 826. All right. And if he continues to have an OPS around 800 for the rest of, for the next 7 years, like, damn, that's a really good player. But the problem with Tatis is we've seen the 960 OPS guy. We've seen the 42 home run guy. We've seen the guy that, is just, I mean, we've seen the almost MVP player. So like, that's the problem, is when you've seen the almost MVP player and then you're not seeing the almost MVP player, it's hard to be like, man, Tatis is having an amazing season. It's like, well, this isn't even close to not even close to what he has done in the past.
Yeah, it's a good way to
offensively.
Put it. I think it's a good way to put it. I mean, you're right. I mean, we've seen Tatis at his best. So when I look at a player that at the end of today is 805, OPS is a solid number. But I don't know. It's just a lot of it's predicated on his on base, which is great. As a leadoff guy, it's great. He's getting on base at a high clip. Anytime you get on base 100 percentage points higher than your average, you're doing your job as a leadoff hitter, and that's what he's doing. So he's doing his job. I'm looking for go above and beyond your job. I'm looking for him to take off into another level. He's a top 25 hitter in the National League. I'm looking for a top 10 hitter in the National League, the top 5 hitter in the National League, because I've seen it, like you said, with my own 2 eyes. I've seen it for years on end, but I haven't seen it really for an extended period of time since 2021. Jesus, thank you, man, for the super chases. Padres won the Soto trade. James Wood is a bust. He's not. They certainly had his number.
For sure.
And they've had the Nats number for now multiple years. They swept them last year. They went 4-2 this year against the Nats. They certainly have the number of a young player. He struck out more than like you could possibly strike out in a season series against the Padres. I think he was 0 for today as well. Right. But I think James was a good player. I think he had a bad, 6 games or 5 games since that first game against the Padres.
Yeah, ever since the fleece tweet by the Nationals, I think he went 0 for.
That's hilarious.
It really is.
I mean, since that tweet, people got fired for the Nationals.
That's right. Mike Rizzo got fired. Dave Martinez got fired for that.
Yeah, they got work to do, man. Their rebuild is occurring right in front of our eyes.
Well, it's not good when the best parts of your rebuild are from the Juan Soto trade and everything else sucks.
True. That's another really good point. What was the thing that I saw today from your boy Talking Friars about they could move Mackenzie Gore? Which is kind of comical. It's like you'd think you'd build around him. I thought several teams, this is John Heyman for whatever it's worth, several teams have called the Nats about all-star left-hander Mackenzie Gore. A new Nats general manager, Mike DiBartolo, has said that while he prefers to keep the core group, he'll always listen. Probably a long shot with 2 more years before free agency, but worth teams trying. Interesting. I don't think we'll go anywhere. I'd build around him, but
that's the whole thing is like you build around Abrams, Wood, and Gore. We're going to restart our rebuild again. Like what? You have a 3 all-stars right there that you build around.
That's right. And then the other note I found tonight, again, I think this confirms the point we've made, which is we know Leo DeVries isn't going anywhere. I don't see any scenario where Ethan Salas is, because why would you sell low? Because Kyle Glazer saying, I think 30 minutes before we went on with the show, that Ethan Salas' stress fracture in his back is healing more slowly than initially hoped. And he has no set timetable to return per the team. No setbacks, just slow healing. He's catching off the machine and working out, but no rotational movement. So, I mean, it's 10 days from August. The minor league season ends before the major league season. At most, he could maybe play, just using my head here, what could he play, 20 games in the minor leagues this year? 25 maybe. He's only played 10. So he's going to play, let's say he played another 20 games. He'd play 30 games this year. I just don't see selling a player off just a completely missed year. Doesn't make any sense to me. But I do think he's going to lose some of that prospect, I don't know, shine, I would guess. And he's going to have to earn it a little bit in 2026 would be my guess.
Yeah, I'm losing faith that Ethan Salas is going to turn into this generational catching talent that was being sold to the fan base here. Like, oh, well, Ethan Salas, man, he could be up as early as 19. Like at 19 years old, he'd be catching the big league staff. That's how good he is. No, stop. Stop. The only player in this organization to me that is 100% off limits is Leo DeVries. Ethan Salas, again, why would you sell low on him right now, right? Like, why? But I don't have much faith that Ethan Salas, who can't hit, by the way, it's not like he was tearing the cover off the baseball in the minors. I know he's young, but still, like, I don't know. I don't really see it with Ethan. Hope I'm wrong, but again, I will be saying that potentially in like 5 years from now.
Yeah,
if he turns out to be good.
Yeah, I just wouldn't move him because I don't know what he can be, I guess. So to move him before I know.
But you're selling low. Like, you're not selling high either. Like, if he was...
You're selling really low.
selling at the lowest. Like, oh, do we want a 18-year-old catcher with already back problems and he can't hit? Like, that's not good.
Yeah, no, that's not good at all. That's not good at all. All right. Do you want to remind our viewers about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy? Best and easiest place to play fantasy sports is Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 1,000 times your money in a single night. And if you use the promo code PODSWRAP, that's PADSWRAP, you're going to get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a free gimme pick. What does a free gimme pick look like? Looks like higher or lower than a half total plate appearance for Fernando Tatis Jr. tomorrow against the Marlins. So they're giving you a pick. All you have to do is hit on one other to win, and you can turn $10 into $1,000 or more. So use the promo code PADSWRAP, get the 50% deposit match up to $1,000, get the free gimme pick as well, and click that link in the description down below and start playing and winning with Underdog today.
And there's a QR code above my head right there. To download the Underdog Fantasy app. Once you download the Underdog Fantasy app, use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Start playing. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite players of 2 different teams or more. Start playing now and use our promo code and to win some money.
All right, join us tomorrow, John and Jim. We'll be on at 2. We'll get you ready for Padres and Marlins. Kevin Acee will join us before the game. So join us tomorrow before the game. Kevin Acee will get us ready, and then join us post-game as well for the wrap-up show. Following Monday night's game between the Padres and the Marlins, a day closer to the trade deadline, and we'll see if the Padres can continue to play well on this road trip in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Please subscribe to this channel, year-round content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X, at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks if you are here on replay as well. And support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our friends at Humboldt Casino, SeatGeek, and Underdog Fantasy as well. We will catch you with you tomorrow on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 at 2 p.m., getting you ready for Padres and Marlins, and then tomorrow night on the wrap-up show. And for Jim, I'm John. Peace. Thanks, guys.
Peace.